Do you believe true love can overcome any adversity? Get ready to be amazed by the story that challenges everything you believe about beauty and true love. A perfect bride suffers a devastating accident that disfigures her face, and what her fiancé does next will shock you. Emma was at the height of her happiness. She was a vibrant young woman, full of life, with a promising career in marketing and a fiancé, James, who seemed to be the man of her dreams. They lived together in a modern apartment in Manhattan, New York, and were about to get married in 3 months. Life couldn't be more perfect. James was a dedicated and successful man, but at times, his superficiality showed through. He enjoyed showcasing their perfect relationship to the world, and the couple was often the center of attention on social media, sharing moments of love and happiness. Emma, however, saw in James the ideal partner for a happy life. They had plans to travel the world, build a family, and fulfill all their dreams together. The countdown to the wedding was underway, and excitement was building every day. On a rainy night, after a bachelorette party organized by her friends, Emma was driving back home. She was ecstatic, full of plans for the big day. As she drove, she reminisced about the happy moments of the party. It was all perfect, she thought, smiling as she remembered the laughter and words of affection. I can't wait to tell James everything tomorrow. But fate had other plans for her. The rain made the asphalt shine treacherously, but Emma was cautious, maintaining a safe speed. Suddenly, the headlights of another car appeared in front of her, coming from a crossroads. She barely had time to react. A reckless driver ran a red light, crashing violently into Emma's car. The impact was deafening. Emma felt her body being thrown against the seatbelt. The world around her turned into a whirlwind of shattered glass and twisted metal. She heard a sharp, steady sound, the car alarm, mixed with the sound of the rain. In seconds that seemed like an eternity, Emma felt intense heat. The vehicle caught fire, and she was rescued just in time, suffering severe injuries and burns to her face. Emma spent weeks unconscious in the hospital as doctors fought to stabilize her condition. Her room was always filled with machines monitoring her vital signs. Nurses cared for her diligently, but the prognosis was uncertain. She's a fighter, she heard one of them say one day, but the road will be long. When she finally woke up, the reality was devastating. Her eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the light in the hospital room. She felt a sharp pain throughout her body, especially in her face. Her mother was by her bedside, holding her hand with tears in her eyes. "Emma, you're awake," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "We're here with you." Emma tried to speak, but the pain stopped her. Her thoughts were confused, but one concern dominated her mind. How am I? What happened to me? She could barely lift her head, but she knew something was terribly wrong. The looks of pity and concern around her confirmed her worst fears. Her face was disfigured, and the physical pain was unbearable. Every movement was a challenge, every breath an effort. But the emotional pain, seeing her reflection for the first time, was even worse. This can't be real, she thought, feeling tears burn her eyes. How am I going to live like this? What will James think? James visited Emma in the hospital, but his reaction was far from that of a loving fiancé. At first, he tried to be strong, holding her hand and saying words of encouragement. "We'll get through this together, Emma," he said, his voice hesitant. But the shock and discomfort at Emma's appearance were evident. He avoided looking directly at her, and his visits became increasingly short and tense. After a few tense and cold visits, he made a decision that would devastate Emma even more. On a quiet morning, James entered Emma's room with a serious expression. "Emma," he began, trying to stay calm, "we need to talk." Emma's heart raced. "James, please don't leave me," she begged, gripping his hand tightly, but he gently pulled his hand away, avoiding her gaze. I don't know if I can handle this," he finally said. "I'm sorry, Emma." And with those words, he left, leaving Emma alone with her pain and despair. She stared at the door for a long time, feeling like the world had collapsed on her. "What am I going to do now?" she thought, as tears silently streamed down her face. The feeling of abandonment and desolation was overwhelming, but deep down, something began to stir within her. A quiet determination, a desire to fight, not just to survive, but to find a new purpose amidst tragedy. James, unable to handle the new reality, decided to break off the engagement. He claimed he couldn't face Emma's new appearance and wasn't prepared for this kind of challenge. "Emma, I'm so sorry," he said, his voice low and full of hesitation. "I just can't. I'm not ready for this." He seemed like a stranger, distant and cold, his words cutting like knives. Emma looked at him, heartbroken, trying to understand how everything had changed so quickly. "James, we were going to get married. You promised to be by my side no matter what happened," she said, her voice trembling and full of pain. But he just shook his head, avoiding her gaze. "I'm not strong enough for this. I'm sorry, Emma." Emma was devastated. James's words echoed in her mind, deepening the sense of betrayal and abandonment. Not only was she dealing with physical pain and a slow recovery, but also with the betrayal of someone she thought loved her unconditionally. She felt an overwhelming emptiness, a deep void where love and security once resided. "How could he do this to me?" she thought, as tears silently streamed down her face. "I would give anything to have him here with me, but he just left." Emma's family and friends rallied to offer emotional support. Her parents, in particular, were a constant source of love and encouragement, helping her face each day with a bit more courage. Her mother, Martha, never left her side for a second. "You will get through this, my dear. We are here for you," she said, holding Emma's hand firmly. Her father, Robert, offered words of encouragement and tried to make her smile with jokes and childhood stories. "Remember when you broke your leg riding a bike and thought you'd never be able to ride again? And look, you became the queen of neighborhood races." Her friends also did not abandon her. They organized regular visits, bringing flowers, letters, and small gifts to cheer her up. "We're here for you, Emma. You're strong, and you'll get through this," said her friend Lisa, gently holding her shoulder. Even so, the pain of rejection and the struggle to accept herself again seemed unbearable. Emma looked in the mirror and saw a face she barely recognized. "How am I going to continue like this? Who am I now?" she asked herself, feeling lost and alone. Every day was a battle. Physical recovery was slow and painful, full of physical therapy sessions and painful dressings. "You need to be patient, Emma," said her doctor, Dr. David. "Recovery will take time, but you are making progress." But it was the emotional recovery that seemed the most difficult. She struggled to find meaning, a reason to keep going. "I need to find a way to move forward," she thought, trying to gather the strength to face another day. And though the pain was great, Emma knew that somehow she needed to find a new path, a new way to live and love herself. Besides the emotional and physical pain, Emma now faced a major financial challenge. The medical bills were astronomical, arriving daily with new amounts. Every test, every medication, every therapy session had a cost that seemed to grow endlessly. Emma looked at the piles of bills on the kitchen table and felt a lump in her throat. "How am I going to pay for all this?" she thought, desperate. She tried to stay calm, but the anxiety was overwhelming. "I never imagined a medical emergency could leave me like this." Emma couldn't return to work due to her condition. The scars on her face and the constant pain made it impossible to perform daily tasks, let alone work in an office. "I need to go back," she told herself, as if her true self had left without saying goodbye, and she continued trying to find some peace. However, reality soon brutally imposed itself. The company where she worked, although initially supportive, eventually let her go, claiming they couldn't keep her position for so long. "Emma, we're very sorry, but we need someone who can be present and active," said the manager, avoiding her gaze. "You will always have an excellent recommendation from us." But those words brought no comfort. "How can they do this to me now?" she thought, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. Emma also had to deal with legal issues related to the accident. Her lawyers were working to secure fair compensation, but the process was slow and full of obstacles. "Emma, we know it's difficult, but these cases take time," explained her lawyer, Mr. Johnson. "The reckless driver has good lawyers, and they are trying to minimize his liability as much as possible." The court hearings were exhausting and emotionally draining. Every time she relived the accident, she felt as if she were being hit all over again. "It's not fair," she thought, feeling powerless against the legal system. All of this only added to the weight on her shoulders. Emma spent sleepless nights worrying about the future. How am I going to pay the bills? How will I survive without a job? What if I never get the compensation? These thoughts haunted her, robbing her of any moments of peace she tried to find. With each new challenge, she felt more isolated and helpless. Will I ever get out of this darkness? She wondered, struggling to keep hope alive. The support from family and friends was invaluable, but Emma knew they also had their own lives and responsibilities. I can't depend on them forever, she thought, feeling guilty for being a burden. Her parents, Martha and Robert, did their best to ease her worries. We'll find a solution, Emma. We're all in this together, said her mother, trying to hide the concern in her voice. Her father spent hours on the phone with insurance companies and doctors, trying to negotiate reductions in the bills. We won't give up, dear, he affirmed with determination. Despite all the support, Emma knew that most of the fight was hers. She needed to find strength within herself to face the financial and legal challenges. I need to get back on my feet, she told herself, trying to muster courage. She began looking for resources, such as financial assistance programs and support groups for accident victims. Every small victory, like the approval of financial aid, was a step towards a more secure future. I won't let this destroy me, she promised herself, feeling a spark of determination grow inside her. Even with all the difficulties, Emma was determined to fight for her life, her dignity, and her future. Determined to overcome her circumstances, Emma began to rebuild her self-esteem. I won't let this destroy me, she promised herself. She knew that the tragedy could not define who she was. Emma started doing activities she had always wanted to try, but never had the courage to. It's time to truly live, she thought, feeling a new energy grow within her. First, she enrolled in dance classes. Although she initially felt insecure because of her scars, she soon realized that the dance studio was a place of acceptance and freedom. Here, no one judges me, she thought, smiling at her reflection in the dance studio mirror. The movement of her body and the music helped her connect with a part of herself she thought she had lost. I feel alive again, she said to one of her classmates as they rehearsed a choreography. Emma also joined a support group for accident survivors. Here, everyone understands my pain, she reflected during her first meeting. The stories shared by other members touched her deeply. I'm not alone on this journey, she realized, feeling an instant connection with the people there. These new friendships gave her strength and inspiration. If they can do it, so can I, she thought, determined to move forward. Gradually, Emma began to help other people overcome their own battles. You are stronger than you think, she said to a new member of the group, as she shared her own story of overcoming. Helping others brought her a deep sense of purpose. I can make a difference in someone's life, she thought, feeling useful and valued. One day, during an art therapy session in the support group, Emma discovered a new passion for painting. I never thought painting could be so liberating, she said, holding a brush for the first time. Initially, her works were dark and expressed her pain. It's like I'm putting all my sadness on the canvas, she reflected, observing the dark colors and anguished forms of her early paintings. But as she healed, her paintings began to shine with bright colors and hope. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, she thought, mixing bright paints for a new piece. In no time, she was showcasing her work in small local galleries. Congratulations, Emma. Your paintings are incredible, praised a visitor during an exhibition. Feeling a wave of pride and happiness, Emma realized that her art not only helped her heal, but also inspired others. I never thought something so beautiful could come from so much pain, she said, moved. This transformation wasn't easy. Each step required courage and determination, but Emma knew she was on the right path. I'm rebuilding my life, she thought, looking at one of her latest paintings, full of vibrant colors and energy. And with each new day, Emma felt stronger, more confident, and more at peace with herself. I am proof that it's possible to find light, even in the darkest moments, she reflected, ready to face any challenge the future might bring. It was at one of these exhibitions that Emma met Michael, a captivating and sensitive artist who fell in love with her paintings before even meeting her in person. Michael, a renowned painter, was fascinated by the vibrant colors and emotional depth of Emma's works. Who is this artist? He asked the gallery curator, while observing one of Emma's paintings. She has such a powerful and expressive soul. When they finally met, Michael was captivated not only by Emma's art, but also by her inner strength and unique beauty. "You must be Emma," he said, extending his hand with a warm smile. Emma, surprised by his approach, shook his hand. "Yes, that's me. And you are—" "Michael," he replied, looking directly into her eyes. "I must say your paintings are incredible. They touched me deeply." Emma blushed slightly, not used to so much praise. "Thank you. I put a lot of myself into them." As they talked, Michael recognized the depth of Emma's strength. "You are an extraordinary woman," he said sincerely. "Your story of overcoming is inspiring." Emma felt a warmth in her chest, something she hadn't felt in a long time. "I'm just trying to move forward," she responded modestly. "But it's nice to hear that from someone like you." Michael became a constant source of support and encouragement. He encouraged her to continue her journey of self-discovery and healing. "You have incredible talent, Emma. Don't stop creating," he said, while helping her set up her canvases in the studio. Emma felt more confident with Michael's presence. "You really believe in me," she commented while they worked together. "Of course I do," he replied. "You have a light that needs to be shared with the world." Their relationship blossomed slowly, based on mutual respect, admiration, and genuine love. They spent hours talking about art, life, and their hopes for the future. "I've never felt so understood by someone," Emma confessed one night while they walked through the park. "You make me feel safe." Michael gently squeezed her hand. "Because you are safe, Emma. You are strong and amazing just the way you are." Michael saw beyond Emma's scars, valuing her courage and resilience. "The scars are part of who you are, but they don't define you," he said one day, while Emma looked at her reflection in the mirror with insecurity. "They show the warrior that you are." Emma felt tears well up, but this time, they were of gratitude and love. "Thank you, Michael. You make me feel whole again." Over time, Emma realized she was falling in love with Michael. Each moment together was a step towards complete healing. "I never thought I could love again," she admitted, in a moment of vulnerability. "But you showed me it's possible." Michael smiled, holding her face tenderly. "I'm the lucky one here, Emma. You brought color and life into my world in a way I never imagined." As Emma's touching story became known through her art, she was invited to participate in an innovative recovery project proposed by the state's most renowned university. This project combined the latest in scar treatment studies and techniques. Emma experienced significant improvement in her appearance within a few months. The project combined advanced reconstructive surgery techniques with cutting-edge skin treatments. "I'm so nervous, but hopeful," Emma confessed to Dr. David before the first session. "We'll do our best, Emma," he replied with an encouraging smile. As the months passed, Emma saw the scars that were once a constant reminder of her pain become almost imperceptible. "I can hardly believe it," she said to Michael as she looked at her reflection in the mirror. "You look beautiful, Emma," he said, holding her hands. "But to me, you always have been." With her newfound confidence and determined to show the world her life transformation, Emma decided to organize a major exhibition of her paintings. "It's time to show the world what I've created," she thought, feeling an excitement she hadn't felt in a long time. She spent weeks preparing the exhibition, carefully choosing each painting and writing detailed descriptions for each one. "Each painting tells a part of my journey," she explained to a friend. "I want people to see the transformation I've experienced." James tried to rekindle their relationship, expressing regret and claiming he was still in love with her and willing to accept her now. "Emma, I made a terrible mistake," he said, his eyes full of remorse. "I was scared and didn't know how to handle the situation. But I never stopped loving you." He reached out to touch her hand, but Emma pulled back. "Please, give me a second chance." But Emma, who had become a stronger woman and aware of her worth, firmly rejected James. "James, there was a time when I would have done anything to hear that from you," she began, her voice steady. "But now I know I deserve someone who stands by me during the worst times, not just the best." She looked directly into his eyes, without any hesitation. "I have moved on, James. I found my strength and my worth. And that doesn't include going back to someone who abandoned me when I needed them most." James tried to argue, but Emma didn't give him a chance. "I wish you all the best, but I'm not the same person you knew. I have learned to love and respect myself, and I won't go back." With those words, she turned and walked away, leaving James there, alone and regretful. Michael, who had been watching from a distance, approached and embraced her. "You were amazing," he said, pride in his voice. Emma smiled, feeling a wave of relief and satisfaction. "I feel amazing," she replied, holding Michael's hand. Together, they left the gallery, ready to face the future with confidence and love. Emma knew she had made the right decision, reaffirming her commitment to herself and the new life she was building. Emma and Michael embarked on a new life together, happy and fulfilled. Their mornings were filled with laughter and conversations about the dreams they had for the future. Emma reflected on her journey, grateful to have found a true love that went beyond physical appearance. "If it weren't for the accident, I might never have found this strength within me," she thought, as they walked together through a park. "And certainly, I wouldn't have found you, Michael." She looked at him with love and gratitude, feeling blessed to have him in her life. True beauty, she learned, lies in inner strength and the ability to overcome challenges. "You taught me to see the world in a new way," Emma said to Michael, as they admired a beautiful landscape together. "And you showed me what true love is," he replied, pulling her into a loving embrace. They knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they were ready to overcome them together. True love sees beyond physical appearance, valuing the essence of a person. "What we have is rare," Michael said one evening, as they prepared dinner together. "Yes, it's precious," Emma agreed, feeling the warmth of the love they shared. Every moment together reinforced the certainty that they had found something deep and eternal. Eager for the future, Emma and Michael knew they had found something precious and eternal. They made plans to open an art gallery together, where they could exhibit their works and those of other artists who found inspiration in personal overcoming. "Our gallery will be a beacon of hope," said Emma, excited about the idea. "Exactly," Michael agreed. "It will be a place where art heals and inspires." And so, Emma found her happy ending, proving that love and true beauty transcend scars and that adversities can be overcome with courage and determination. Sitting beside Michael, watching the sunset, she thought of all the lessons life had taught her. "I am stronger than I ever imagined," she reflected, holding Michael's hand. "And I am ready for whatever the future brings." Together, Emma and Michael knew they had found not just a partner, but also a purpose and a shared vision for the future. They were ready to face anything, united by the love that transcended all adversities. "We are just beginning our adventure," Michael said, kissing Emma's forehead. "And I can't wait to see where it will take us," Emma replied, with a smile that reflected all the happiness and hope she felt. Emma's journey is a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and self-discovery. From the depths of despair to the heights of personal triumph, Emma's story shows that true beauty and resilience come from within, and that love, when genuine, transcends all obstacles. Thank you for joining us on this emotional and inspiring journey. If you enjoyed this story, please like and follow our channel. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for our next story, which promises to be just as surprising and captivating.